Welcome back to the channel, and today we're talking WWE 2K20 and we're looking at the visuals and what we can improve from 2K19 to 2K20. Now before we get into it, I want to make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell turned on so you stay up to date with all my WWE Games content. Now although WWE Games have improved dramatically when it comes to the graphics of a wrestling game and 2K19 was spot on, I don't feel they've got to grips visually with what they're trying to achieve. Now in my opinion, 2K have focused on realism when it comes to a WWE game, and although in WWE 2K19 they decided to try and bring back that fun style, and that's something clearly that they're going to be working on in future WWE games, I feel like their core focus is building a game which looks visually impressive, and also it's focused on that simulation style wrestling, so it does feel like real life WWE. But there is one aspect of this game that lets that down, and that's prompts, pop-ups, boxes, and just things that are, needed for the game but not always needed to be seen at times. And I'm going to explain that in more detail as we get into this video, because these boxes, these pop-ups, these prompts, in my opinion, ruin the visual experience that makes this feel like real life over a video game. Now I know some people might say it's never going to be real life, but when you're creating a universe mode like I do, like other YouTubers do, you want the visuals to look clean, and on occasions these pop-up boxes, these little prompts that 2K have put in, you have no option to turn them off, and without having that option you have to try and edit them out. And if you can't edit them out, then unfortunately you've got to leave them in. And it's not just from a YouTuber's perspective. For someone like me who's creating a universe mode, sometimes you just want a clear screen. You don't want a little box popping up in the corner. You don't want a little prompt, because if you don't use that prompt at all, what's the point of having it? So in this video, I've looked at what we've currently got with 2K19 in terms of the visuals, and I picked out things that I think don't necessarily need to be there, or they could be adjusted to make them slightly better, or 2K can give us an option to help us with the visual experience. And then I've shown you what it should look in WWE 2K20. So let's not delay it any further and let's get into this and let's see what I've come up with. So here we are in WWE 2K19, and we're in the SmackDown arena, and Rey Mysterio is about to make his way to the ring, custom attire and all, and graphically this all looks great. So 2K have done a fantastic job, but then there's this little options menu. Now this little options menu doesn't do very much. It allows you to skip an entrance, and I don't think it does too much else apart from that. I think you can maybe save something to the highlight reel. I don't know. I don't really use it, but it's there. And what I have to do, as we see Andrade making his way to the ring too, is I have to crop this out every time when I'm creating my universe mode content. And what that tends to do as well, if I'm cropping things, is it will make the nameplates look slightly more awkward, and it just ruins that visual experience. Now this option wasn't there in WWE 2K18, so we somehow managed to work our way forward in a game without it, and I'm not entirely sure why it was brought in, because surely it would be better to maybe just be there for a moment then fade away if you're not going to use it, or just have an option in the menu screen if you're not going to use it to turn it off, and just press X to skip an entrance. So with that in mind, this is what I came up with, and this is how it should look in WWE 2K20. So if I've turned off that option in the menu screen, now I've just got a very clean visual and fantastic graphics of Rey Mysterio making his way to the ring in a WWE game. No cropping necessary. And it just looks good. Obviously, for this example, I had to crop it, but you wouldn't have to if the option was available. So I think that 2K need to adjust that little menu down in the bottom to either fade away after a couple of seconds or simply allow you to turn it off, because I don't actually use that menu at all. You should know, if you just press any button, it will bypass the entrance and move on to the next one. If you do it again, then you go straight to the match. That would be much better. I think we're all used to that as players of WWE games, but I just think that that option shouldn't be there, and hopefully now you're beginning to get my gist of what I'm talking about when it comes to the visual aspect of a WWE game. These prompts, these pop-ups, if we took them away, it would just make a better overall experience as a player and, like me, as a creator. So let's move on and let's take a look at the next one that I came up with. So now it's a Monday night and we're with the game, the King of Kings, the COO of WWE, Triple H, and things look pretty good at the moment, apart from the fact that Triple H is fuming and acting in a way that he wouldn't, because this was captured from universe mode and promos don't really reflect how a superstar actually acts, but visually it looked good and then now it doesn't. And the reason why I say that is because if you take a look in that top corner, you've now got a huge promo performance meter and it just ruins everything. It looks awful. So visually, again, the game and the graphics look good, but that box, oh, it's just very annoying. Now, for a universe mode creator, if you wanted to use, for example, universe mode, this sort of promo, you're going to have to find a way to cover up that box, hide it, edit it out in some way. You obviously can't crop it because it's so damn big, but, you know, you'd have to find a way to get rid of it. Whereas what I think is that the promo performance meter should simply be hidden. It doesn't really, again, do anything for your experience. And maybe at the end, after the promo, it just tells you, you know, a total of your points that you've got. Much more simpler, doesn't ruin the visual experience. Now, I don't even think promos should look this way in general, because also as well, if you look at the text box, how much text is being put on the screen compared to the size of the text box itself, it's just a bit overdone. So in general, I don't really think, and this is maybe a little bit more universe mode specific, I don't think visually these boxes really do the game any sort of justice at all. And Triple H, just to add, is talking nonsense. If you actually read his promo, yeah, it has no real reflection on his character. I know I'm using an alter tire, but it wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't have any characteristics of Triple H, and promos do need to be looked at and improved in terms of what characters say, so it actually suits what the wrestler is like in terms of their personality. This definitely doesn't. But as you see, Triple H has had enough. He slammed the mic down and now he's going off for a big old sulk. So let's now look at how I think promos should look like from beginning to end in WWE 2K20. So here comes Triple H, and I've actually picked cutscenes this time round. And I've picked them based on Triple H and his personality. So you see, much more calm, and this suits Triple H's demeanour much better. The visual representation is clean, and it was like that, you know, although he wasn't acting this way, visually it was good at this point from the in-game version of Universe Mode where you use promos, but it all kind of went wrong once Triple H got on the mic. Now here, we're still looking good, and Triple H looking good, and here you go. No promo performance meter, that's hidden, and you've got a much smaller promo box, and I'd say that you should be able to insert free text. So you would be able to type in this box, and that's what you're seeing here, me having written out a promo. And I'd also say as well, if you want to, you should be able to hide the promo text box completely if you want to do that also. So again, much more clean, much more control for you as a player in how you want promos to look. Let's move on. Now, I was thinking about the camera angles to give you a bit more of an experience in a WWE game. So, as you see here, this is all quite, standard. You get camera cuts, but you have a preset camera angle for the most part in how you want the action to look and unfold in a WWE game. So if you're a player, and it's not even if you're a creator, because if you're a creator you can do things in the highlight reel, but if you're just a player, you can't really put a different camera angle on it. And in other games, like EA with FIFA, you can adjust the camera angle of how you want to see, a match be played. And I think you should have that option in a WWE game, because if you're creating universe mode, how cool would it be to have your own set up dynamic camera angles for each match? And it could be an option that you have, 2 or 3, or maybe 3 or 4, or you just have a set dynamic camera angle. So just, that would make your action unique to how you want to see it. So as you see this action unfold between Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman, there's been relatively minimal camera cuts. But now here, and this is how I think it should look in WWE 2K20, this is a dynamic camera angle. So I've preset this camera angle, and then I've taken another camera angle. So I did all of this within the highlight reel, but I think that this should be an option for 2K20. Now, when I was creating this to use as an example, I had to do it in the highlight reel so the camera angles jump quite quickly. I think it would be nice if you were given, 3 or 4 camera angles per match, and then, the CPU can determine the best camera angle for the right moment. Or you can just say, look, I want this camera angle for the entire match. Like you see here, you could have all your action unfold looking like this, and you've told the game that you want to see it in this way for your universe mode. I just think, again, that has that versatility, it makes it unique, and it makes it the visual experience that you want to see as a WWE gamer, or a universe mode, or a creator of any sort. So here's another great camera angle. I mean, imagine all the action unfolding and you see it from up here. I just think it looks fantastic. So that sort of freedom to have dynamic camera angles, I think, would be another fantastic option. Boom. So now let's take a look at one final thing that I think needs to be adjusted for WWE 2K20, and here you see it, Kofi Kingston, the man of the hour, and he makes a pin, right? Why? You see that rope break pop up? That horrible rope break. Now you can't turn that off. You can turn off rope breaks, but you can't turn off that pop up if a rope break is triggered. And this is how it should look in 2K20. Clean as anything. Why do you need to have the rope break text pop up? If you activate it, he grabs the rope. That signifies that he's grabbed the rope, and that's a rope break. You don't need to spell it out. It's a bit like in the Transformers franchise when Optimus Prime says 100 times, "I'm Optimus Prime." I know, mate. I've known it since day one. It's just not necessary. So I think that these little adjustments here or there would be really great and really significant in helping that visual experience for a WWE game. I know other universe mode creators out there that made a big deal about the menu option, and they wanted that turned off. Much like myself, it never did get patched out, but I think it would make their lives easier, it would make my life easier, and it would just improve what I want to see on the screen, because again, ultimately it comes back to you as the player. you should be able to, within the settings, set up your game how you want it to look. And if you want it to be as clean as anything, then you should have the option to strip it all out. And that's my view and opinion. Things like a rope break prompt, I don't think is necessary. And then with the dynamic camera angles, I think it just allows you to make a WWE game, make a match, feel your very own. So what do you think? What do you think? What do you think about the promo as well? The cutscenes give you everything you need. So that's what's interesting about it. You know, in the video option, the cutscenes are perfect. That's how promos should look. But then, in actual universe mode, where you've got the promo meter and all that stuff, I don't think anybody wants promos to look like that. So, you know, it's there, but it's just not put in properly. So let me know what you think of these little improvements, little adjustments. And I know they're quite picky, but if you think about it, they're actually quite nice little changes, subtle little changes, and again they give you the ability to control the game that you've bought. So I want to get your views and comments. I mean, do any of these things bug you about the current installment of the WWE game, like the menu option that you can never get rid of, or how promos are shown in universe mode? You know, do you like having that stupid promo performance meter? The reason why I say it's stupid is because, again, I don't really think it really does anything. It doesn't really give any sort of enhancement to it. Just have that come up at the end and tell you how many points you earned. You know, do you want to see rope break appear? Because, I mean, visually you're gonna see it because he grabs the rope with his hand or puts his leg on the rope. Is it needed? I want to get your views and opinions. This is just my view because, like I said, I love having that clean experience. I want it to feel like a real life WWE experience. That's what my universe mode is built upon. And I know there's others of you out there that want this too, because you like my universe mode. You champion that, so I'm sure you'll champion this. But let me know what you think, and for now, until we talk about more 2K20, and what do you want me to talk about? Anything you would like me to cover on the channel when it comes to the next installment of the WWE Games franchise, I'll be happy to talk about it. List it in the comments. But for now, this is Delzinski, signing out.